Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the HPC CMC30. So this is a code card for their key originating machine. Their Blitz machine is really what it's known as. Their 1200. The 1200 Blitz machine, and I'm not an expert, and I'm certainly not an expert when it comes to automotive, which is clearly what this card is for. But I can tell you a few things about this card that will be helpful and you may not know. So on the Blitz machine, you have an X and a Y axis, and you move the spacing needle to the proper position. You move the carriage that's holding the key to the cutter in that proper, sort of proper X and Y dimension, okay? Your X axis. The Y dimension is your depth, and you rotate another wheel to then, once you've moved your carriage, and you then tip the carriage into the cutter to the proper depth. That's what these lines are here. Your spacing and then your depths. That makes sense when you slide that into the card. Everybody knows that has this machine. What may not everybody know that uses the machine is the cutter wheel that you're to use is a CW1011 when cutting these, and you use jaw A. Very handy. But they have more information on here. What blanks that you'll use, I'm sorry, I want to get the camera to focus on this. Here we go. The blanks that you're going to use are listed there as well. Kaba Ilko codes are there. Your depth and spacing data up over here and down here, your depth increment, literally gives you the information physically, so that with only this information here, it is possible for you to take a key and file it. It is possible. If you have a file, a wording file, no, not a wording file, a peer, or an apple file. I think it's called a pear file. Pear, like the fruit. It is shaped in such a way that it is very appropriate for cutting those V cuts. I'm just doing a quick internet search to give you the right idea. File to use when creating a key. No, there is a term for the file. Locksmith Supplies would have it. It looks like a pear if it's upside down, I suppose. It's a V with a radiused top end. Gives you a nice ability to cut that file, that key. So the depth and spacing data is literally listed there for you to be able to use in order to do that. So, there's empty space on the card, and they fill it with that useful data. Other important information is on here as well. DSD 402. So depth and spacing data, 402, C card CMC37 for 83 plus, obviously years of machine, of card. Honda Cyc76 CMC30 is the card. So this is a newer card because it has all three companies on here, HPC, Hudson, and ESP. Fun fact about ESP, if you're looking for cam locks, take a look at ESP. They have some interesting items that you may find useful. So this card gives you the data just in this easy to understand, I don't have to understand anything format. I just have to be able to turn wheels and stop the needle when it gets to the line. But you do need to know what jaw to use, what blank to use, and what cutter to use. And that's all on here, and that's helpful. Let's switch to the screen view and take a closer look at some supporting information when it comes to HPC. So this is indeed the item that we are looking at. Okay, not much to see here, except the link here to the manufacturer's page. Honda, code card Honda. Okay, cycles 76 to 82. More from HPC. Let's click on that. Now, if you recall, the DSD, depth and space data, this is a PDF document. And that number on the card, if you recall, was 402. And there it is. Depth and space data 402. This gives you all the depth and spacing data. The card for the Blitz, the cutter for the Blitz, the jaw for the Blitz. You cannot punch these at all because they can't be punched. They're double-bitted keys, or double cut, so that they can be inserted either way, either orientation. The reason to point out the depth and spacing data to you by either number or more commonly by manufacturer is, let's say you were working on a Corbin system, Corbin pre-System 70, System 70, Russwin, things of that nature. You're going to be able to find depth and spacing data for the several and many different Corbin systems. Corbin large cylinder, CW90MC, that's your cutter. Okay. The question becomes is, with Corbin being an extreme example, what card do you use? Because they have so many key classes, or at least they do with Corbin and Russwin, and then pre and System 70, where they went from a two-step, they went to a two-step system to a single-step system. So all bets are off when it comes to that. Corbin X class, 0.015 increment. That's obviously going to be a two-step system, so therefore pre-System 70. Okay, so if you've got really old Corbin, X class is really old stuff. This would be a depth and spacing data. This would be the card you'd use, the cutter, and the jaw. So an extreme example of how the depth and spacing data can assist you with more information is there. Depth and spacing data by number and manufacturer. All the other HPC products that we sell are also listed here, along with a link to the manufacturer's website, as long as a link to the catalog. The catalog is very handy because, well, you're probably quite familiar with HPC because of their Blitz or their PCH punch machine, but you may not know that they have a handful of hardware that would complement the locksmith quite well, such as latch guards, reinforcement hardware for aluminum storefront, okay? Key tags, key chains, key rings, key cabinets, all kinds of stuff that go right along with the typical locksmith sort of industry specialization when it comes to the greater overall doors, frames, and hardware. So it's not just the HPC machine only with the Blitz machine with HPC. It's locksmithing tools, picks, things of that nature, and obviously the other tools that go along with it. Software. I don't use software for generating bidding lists, but I know lots of people who do, and the HPC Master King is what it's called, and it's not entry level, because there is something that is entry level, truly entry level, and I think no charge. But Master King would be a entry point for many people who want to generate bidding lists and do so in such a way that would be safe, I would say. You do have to have you don't have to have an expert command over the theory of total position progression or rotating constant, but if you do have an understanding of locksmithing theory when it comes to generating bidding lists, you will understand what the software is doing behind the scenes, certainly better than someone who doesn't. You can just literally generate cuts for keys and leave it at that. But I would think it would be very helpful to know what the software is doing as well. Obviously, their key machines are here. Okay, let's wrap up this video on camera. So as far as my experience goes, this is an unusual card. I mean, it's cutting motorcycles that are keys for motorcycles that are 50 years old. This sort of card is going to last indefinitely. So you don't sell too many of these because there probably aren't many 50-year-old motorcycles that you're cutting keys for. But I wanted to point out the other features on the card because those other features apply to all of the cards, whether it's Corbin or Schlage or Kwikset or a 50-year-old Honda motorcycle. Depth and spacing data, JAWS, cutters, blanks, notes, important notes. Okay. If you have any questions on the HPC CMC30 code card or any other HPC product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. If you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please click subscribe as well, and even share the video with someone that you know. And if you have any questions for a future video, please send them our way and we will make every attempt to oblige. And thank you very much.